I exposed my boss's shady business practices. Here's what happened next. Hey Reddit, I really need your help figuring out if I'm the asshole here. I've been going back and forth on this for a while, and now I'm questioning if I took things too far. Here's the thing. I've been working at this company for almost 2 years now, and I thought I had a pretty decent relationship with my boss, who we'll call Greg. But everything changed when I found out that Greg had been doing some pretty shady things behind the scenes. Things that, in my opinion, were unethical and downright illegal. I didn't want to get involved at first, but after seeing how badly things were affecting the people in the office, I couldn't stay quiet anymore. Long story short, I exposed Greg's actions to the higher-ups, and he ended up getting fired. Now, people in the office are split. Some say I did the right thing, while others think I ruined everyone's lives for a personal vendetta. It's been a few weeks, and I'm still getting mixed reactions, so I need to know. AITA? Let me give you some context. I, 28F, work at a mid-sized marketing firm. It's not the greatest place in the world, but the pay's decent, and the benefits are fine. My boss, Greg, is in his late 40s, and he's been with the company for over a decade. He's always been a bit of a good OL boy type, charming, but a little too buddy-buddy with the higher-ups. He's the kind of guy who seems like he knows everyone's business, but no one knows much about his personal life. When I first started, Greg was pretty easygoing. He'd let us leave early if we finished our work and was generally friendly. I got along with him, and I thought he had my back. Over time, though, I started noticing some inconsistencies in how he handled things. He would make decisions that didn't add up, or sometimes he'd change the rules on the fly, depending on who was asking. At first, I thought I was just being paranoid. But when I started seeing these patterns more clearly, I knew something was wrong. About 6 months ago, I started noticing some red flags. One day, I stumbled across an email from Greg to a client, promising them a project that we didn't have the resources for. Not only was it an unrealistic promise, but Greg also promised that we'd finish it in half the time it would actually take. When I brought it up to him, he just brushed it off, saying that he wouldn't have promised it if he didn't think we could handle it. But I could tell he was lying. The project was already behind schedule, and now we were supposed to deliver it faster than anyone had ever done before. A few weeks later, I found out he was also using company funds for personal expenses. There was a massive purchase for a company event, a lavish weekend getaway for Greg and a few of his friends, but no one from the office was invited. We were told it was a team-building thing, but when I dug into the receipts, I found out it had been paid for with the company's credit card. I couldn't let that slide, so I took it to HR. I went to HR with the proof I had collected, emails, receipts, and even a few testimonials from colleagues who had witnessed some of Greg's inappropriate behavior. I was nervous, but I knew I couldn't stay quiet anymore. The whole office was getting frustrated with Greg's behavior, but no one had the guts to speak up. I thought it was time for someone to do the right thing. HR took my claims seriously and promised they would investigate. A week later, Greg was called in for questioning. It was all happening so quickly, and I didn't want to get my hopes up, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized how deep the problem went. The entire office had been operating under false pretenses, and it wasn't just me who had been hurt by Greg's actions. A few days after HR met with Greg, the whole office was in an uproar. Word spread fast. Greg had been fired. To say the office was shocked would be an understatement. Some people were relieved, others were nervous about what would happen next, and a few of Greg's closest allies were absolutely furious with me. I hadn't meant for it to turn into such a mess, but there was no turning back now. People started coming up to me, thanking me for standing up, while others, including a few of my colleagues, started accusing me of ruining the team. They said I caused unnecessary drama, that I should have let Greg's bad decisions play out, and that the higher-ups would have eventually noticed. Some people even insinuated that I had a personal vendetta against Greg, which wasn't true. I just didn't want to be complicit in his dishonest behavior anymore. The weird part was that Greg didn't even seem that upset about being fired. When he was packing up his office, he looked more annoyed than anything. He didn't even try to explain himself. Maybe he thought he was untouchable, but once the truth came out, he was out of there. It's been weeks since Greg's firing, and the tension in the office is palpable. A lot of people are still on edge. Some of the team members think I did the right thing, and others are still pissed off at me for making waves. The thing is, I can't tell if I did the right thing anymore. I've had a few people pull me aside and say, "You did what had to be done," but it still feels like there's a lingering sense of resentment. It's awkward to walk into the office every day knowing that some people look at me like I'm the office troublemaker. To make matters worse, a few of Greg's former allies are actively trying to get me fired. They've been spreading rumors about me and saying that I'm untrustworthy. It's frustrating because I thought I was doing the right thing. I was looking out for the team, and in the end, it felt like I had to make a choice between doing the right thing and keeping my job. And now, I'm stuck in this weird limbo, where I'm hated by some and praised by others. Now that things have settled down a little, I'm wondering if I made the right call. I did what I thought was right, but the consequences have been harder than I expected. People are still walking on eggshells around me, and it feels like I'll never be fully accepted back into the team. So, Reddit, AITA for exposing my boss's shady business practices, even though it caused a massive stir in the office?